my goodness. Do you know, I just know you are going to love listening to this amazing lady. I am chatting now to the fabulous Justine Riddock. Let me give her a big Radio Northwich welcome. Justine Riddock, good afternoon. How are you, my dear?
Good afternoon, honey. Oh, hang on, I'm in Tina mode. Hello, darling. How are you doing?
You're amazing. I've been reading all about you today. And we're going to talk about your music and about you, and we're going to gritty about you, if that is okay. Are you happy with that?
Oh, you never said anything about nitty gritty. Hang on a minute. Get the bleach out.
So I just spoke to you, and you said you're in your kitchen already as we speak.
Of course.
In your kitchen. Now, if you were sat opposite me, my dear, and just pretend we're doing the show together, looking at each other, although I'm in loungewear today, Justine. Are you dressed?
At the top office.
Yeah, I've gone into loungewear today, and very posh PJs. So, if you were sat opposite me in your top half loungewear, what would you be drinking this afternoon?
It would probably be a G&T, but it'd have to be pink, darling.
Oh, darling. Oh, that sounds amazing. This early in the afternoon? Or is it just because it's show day today?
Yeah, every day. Every day is a G day.
Oh, I don't blame you. And now, you wouldn't be dunking a biscuit in that, would you?
Oh, God, no, but maybe a truffle or two.
Oh, you see, the standards. I thought the Right Said Fred boys had set the standards really high yesterday. They were both onto tea and rich tea biscuits, but you are on pink G&T with a truffle. I just think that is amazing.
Well, I remember yonks ago, I worked at Jumpin' Jacks when I used to sing as myself, and I remember the guys saying, and he said, this is the dressing room, and I went, oh, that's great, thanks. And he said, oh, is it okay for you? And I went, of course it is, what's wrong with it? And he said, oh, we had Right Said Fred in last week, and he said they made us repaint it.
No.
They repainted the dressing room, and obviously the normal rider that famous people get, they get champagne and, the M&Ms and remove the yellow ones and all the rest of it. But what they asked for was something like 8 bottles of Evian and some fresh white towels, which I thought was lovely.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely. Oh, you could fill a whole show on Riders, couldn't you? You could fill a whole show on Pop Stars Riders. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Justine just to one side for 1 second, because are you ready? You are in for an absolute treat, all of you, because this is something old, something new, something borrowed and something blue with an absolute difference. You're going to love it. Are you ready?
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, the only doll I ever owned. And I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown. And it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me say, and it gets higher day by day. Do I love you, my woman? Rivers deep, mountain high, yeah. If I lost you, would I cry? Oh, how I love you, baby. Baby, baby, baby. When you were a young boy, did you have a puppy that always found only you around? Now I'm gonna be as faithful as that puppy. Ooh, I'll never let you down. 'Cause it goes stronger like a river flows, and it gets nearer me, and heaven knows, and it gets If I lost you, would I cry? Oh, how I love you, baby, 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 baby.
I told you all, you are in for an absolute treat. So you can't believe it, but that was the amazing Justine. But before we move on to Justine as Totally Tina, I want to ask, who is Justine Ridotte? Where were you born? Who are you? I need to know nitty gritty, if that's okay.
Right, well, me inside like a measurement, is it? I wouldn't go that far. Well, I was born in Liverpool. I was brought up in Crosby. I actually live in Kirby at the moment. And I was a cabaret vocalist on the circuit from 1991 when I got my enterprise allowance and I became self-employed, right up to when I was on The Wonderful Stars in Their Eyes, when I changed tack. So I've been singing for now, you can all work out my age now. Yes, I've been singing for 30 years now, although strangely, I still only look 21.
Well, you do. I just said to you, I can't believe that you've been singing professionally for 30 years. Now, when you were a kid then, before your enterprise allowance, did you always think this is what you wanted to do, Justine? And when did you realise you got a great voice?
It was really when I walked past, when I was 11, I walked past the library and they were holding auditions for Annie. And it was acting that I really wanted to do. So I walked in and she said, "Can you sing?" Because I had loads of curly hair. And she said, we can spray it the right colour. And I said, well, I don't know if I can sing. I'm not too sure. And she said, so sing something now. So we sang Happy Birthday or something rubbish like that. And I realised I had an okay voice. It was okay. And she went, right, that's it. You're now going to be cast in that role. So really, I wanted to be an actress.
Wow.
But it fell into my pocket that when I left school, I was offered by a DJ that I met on a night out once. A DJ offered me a little tiny campsite down in Aberystwyth.
Oh,
yes, down in Aberystwyth. And he said to me, "Can you sing?" So I went and got 400 songs, desperately started trying to learn them. And I went down and became a redcoat. So my first things of singing was really Newcastle. It was Whitley Bay Holiday Park and also Aberystwyth Holiday Village. And I became more of a singer than I did an actress at that point. And I suppose it wasn't... You tend to, when you're on the cabaret circuit, you tend to sing lots of different genres. Yeah. So one minute you're going, man, I feel like a woman, and you're putting on a country voice. Then the next minute you're going, I dream the dream in time. And you sing that many different genres, you don't know who you are anymore. And you're swapping from one different style to another, not necessarily impersonating anybody. Don't get me wrong, I'm no Joe Longthorne or Faith Brown, but... You try to impersonate the actual genres instead. Yes. So you get to the point after about 10 or 15 years, you haven't got a clue what you sound like anymore. So you also are getting a bit older and you think, hang on a minute, is this going to be my life?
Yeah.
Am I just going to go on my own, drive to gigs and then stand there and sing, set up all my own equipment and then watch everybody get off for the last bus during your dance set? Yeah. And the main event is the bingo and you think, oh, is this all it's going to be? So I saw stars in their eyes and I had tried a couple of years previous, but I really didn't want to be anyone else. I still thought I had a chance of recognition in my own right, but I was wrong, unfortunately. I went for stars in their eyes and that's when it sort of changed for me, because one of the voices that I used to put on, or the genres, shall we say, is a soul voice. So it would be Aretha Franklin. So I don't hope this doesn't deafen the listeners now, but what you want, baby, I got it.
Wow.
What you need. When you were doing that type of voice, I'd put on that voice. And then obviously when I was doing other songs, I'd be doing different genres. So I realised that I had this soul voice that I could go through. And that was the one that I felt most comfortable at. Either that or a rock voice. You know, like AC/DC, a real gravelly, husky, but powerful and quite a high range. So I knew that I felt comfortable in that one. So I suppose that's how it sort of turned out. It was many, many years, and I was like coming up to my 30s before I realised I could sing like this.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go to your next track, which is a new track, and it's What's Love, and Tina Turner did the most fantastic, like the Kygo updated version, didn't she, of this?
Well, what's amazing is at 81, she's still releasing songs.
Yeah.
She stopped touring in her 70s. And now the fact that somebody said to me, did you realise Tina Turner's going to release a song? And obviously it was a cover, it was a remix, but with the fabulous Kygo. And when you listen to it now, you just think, it's so amazing that somebody in their 80s can be in the charts nowadays.
Absolutely. So, are you ready, everybody? Here we go. Tina Turner. No, it's not Tina Turner. I'm sorry. It's totally...
It's me.
It's totally Tina.
You must understand that the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill, boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that. It means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can't be broken? What's love? Oh, got to do with it? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? What's love? Oh, got to do with it? Bring no fashion notion. Who got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me. If I tend to look dazed, I've read it someplace. I got cause to be. There's a name for it. Oh, there's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it to me. Oh, what's love got to do with it? Oh, what's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can't be broken? What's love got to do? Whoa, what's love got to do? Whoa, got to do with it? But a sweet old-fashioned notion. What's love? What got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? What got to do with it? But a sweet old-fashioned notion. Oh no, got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Got to do with it. But a sweet old-fashioned notion. Got to do with it. This heart won't be broken.
Oh my goodness, honestly. What this lady is absolutely amazing. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about stars in your eyes. So I don't know where to start.
What are you giggling about?
You just made me laugh. So stars in your eyes. It was one of the most fantastic TV programs on a Saturday night. At the time, it was popular at its height. Millions and millions of people watched it. It was just a fantastic thing, wasn't it? So you went there. Were you nervous?
Well, it was strange. I sort of had, you got to have some sort of nerves. I always remember Thora Heard. It was a quote she said, once you stop getting the nerves, then you've got too complacent.
Right.
You know, a little bit of nerves is okay, but it was a nervous excitement, if anything. And Matthew and all of the team were just amazing. I still keep in touch with Matthew now, and we've done quite a few other things since. I did Stars in Their Eyes Live, which was a theatre show around the UK. But also, it was a couple of years ago now, they had a breast cancer charity support night. And it was this amazing company that all got together. And one of the girls, Linda Kelly, actually knew Matthew Kelly. And she got in touch with me and said, would you be Tina Turner? I said, oh, you don't want me to be Anastasia? She said, no, we've seen you, Tina, and we love that. And we're going to have Matthew as the host. And he came back out of retirement where he just had a hip operation. And he came back out of retirement, and we had this amazing live night where we did Stars in Their Eyes completely from scratch, the way you would have seen it on the television. So I've not only got to walk through the doors saying, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Anastasia, but I've also got to walk through the doors saying, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Tina Turner, which was amazing for me. I never thought I'd have that.
No, but how fantastic. So the first time you went on Stars in Their Eyes, had you made your mind up at that point that you were going to be Anastasia? How did all that come about?
Yeah, 100%. I tried other characters in the past and I haven't got anywhere with them, so I'd just given it up and I thought, right, let's forget this now. And it was a friend of mine, she said to me, Justine, I've just heard this girl on the radio and it just sounds like you when you sing like Aretha Franklin. Her name's Anastasia. And I went, oh, right, okay. So I went out to the music shops at the time to go and pick up her album, or at least one of her singles, to see what she sounded like. And when I picked up the album, I used to have, when I was 16, my stepfather and my mother bought me a lovely Egyptian ankh around my neck. And I'm actually wearing a t-shirt at the moment with the same symbol on it. And I've got a tattoo of it on my back. And when I picked up the album, she had a tattoo on her back of an Egyptian ankh. And she was wearing them around the neck. And I thought, hang on a minute, this is, I mean, she looked nothing like me. She wore glasses, tinted glasses, and I mean, she was dead slim. She had a lovely flat tummy, and she had long blonde hair, so you couldn't have got further away from me with my dark curly hair. And I thought, oh, do you know what? It's about the voice. They can make me look like her. It doesn't matter. So I started singing the song that I knew that I was going to do on Stars in Their Eyes, which was I'm Out of Love. And I thought, I can do this. I can sound just like, I know exactly what inflections to put on. And when I went for the audition, I immediately got through. And then I immediately got through the heat into the final. So I just knew I'd picked the right character. It was just right timing.
Wow. And can you remember who you were on the show with?
Yes, I was on, well, my heat, I was on with different people to the final. Right. So the final was with Robbie Williams, David Cassidy, Heather Small from M People. Another, would you believe it, a Tina Turner. I was stood next to a Tina Turner. And we were all beaten by Elvis. We were all beaten by the King in the final. But my heat, I'm trying to remember the name. One was, you know, the guy from James.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down, him.
Yeah.
And who else was on my heat? Brenda Lee, a lovely young girl called Danielle, who was Brenda Lee. And there was a Bruce Springsteen on my heat, which he wasn't very happy that he hadn't won it at all. And I can't remember the other one, a guy called Phil Cole, but I can't remember the character he was being. No, so I remember bits and bobs. But I mean, the final and the heat were just stunning, and I had to keep it secret for a whole year.
Of course,
because we recorded it in 2001. It wasn't shown until 2002.
Oh my goodness! You know, so I want to ask, and I won't keep harboring on about this because I know we're talking about Totally Tina, but I'm really, really intrigued. So when you disappear behind, so how do they do all this? Because it's so. Go on. Are you allowed to say? Are you allowed to say?
It's magic. No, yes, I'm allowed to say. Now that the show isn't on anymore, I think it's very easy to say now. So what they did was we recorded in 2 sections. So the live audience were in. And we'd done a whole week's worth of practicing.
Wow.
So we'd already practiced the hair and the wig and the choreography and the makeup and everything. So what we did was we came out looking like ourselves and we had our interview with Matthew. So contestant number 1 has his interview with Matthew and disappears behind the smoke. Then whilst contestant 2, 3, 4 and 5 are having their interview with Matthew, contestant 1 is now ready to come back through the doors.
Right, got you.
But obviously they changed the time.
Yeah, I got you. And did you feel that the minute that you put on your outfit and your Anastasia wig and the tinted glasses that you were her more so than just your singing voice?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'd never tried to get dressed up as anybody in the past and tried to look like them. And it was actually Matthew. He said, I can't believe how different you look. He said, you wouldn't know. And what was really lovely is in the final, Anastasia actually sent me a message and she said, it was almost like looking at myself. I just thought it was you. And then she said, good luck. And she sent me a signed photograph as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, what we're going to go to an ad break. Honestly, I knew and I read everything about you. And in fact, you sent me a message and you said something like, the last song we're playing, you said, please play this song because I'm from Liverpool, and I absolutely knew you were going to be amazing, and just as you are. So we're going to the ad break, and we'll be back very shortly with Justine Riddoch, aka Totally Tina.
Radio Northwich, playing decades of great music, 24 hours a day.
So here we are, this is me, Kim Smith, it's Radio Northwich, and as always, I am live from my little kitchen here in Acton Bridge, and I'm joined by the amazing, we're already best of buddies, we're already meeting up. I'll get dressed. Won't be in pyjamas. Now, no, loungewear, Kim, it's not pyjamas. Now, Missing You is the cover version that you've done. It is fantastic. Tell me about this song and why have you chosen this song, and why did Tina Turner do this song?
Yes, she did. She actually did it on one of her tours, and she did such a beautiful version of it. And it was my bass guitarist that said, "Have you ever heard Missing You?" And I said, "What do you mean, Missing You?" And he said, "The old John Waite classic." I went, "What do you mean? I ain't missing you at all. Missing you since you've been gone." I went, "Oh, I know the one you mean." So then I listened. I dismissed him for a couple of years, to be honest with you. And then I listened to it and I said, "Oh, Jeff, I've got to apologise for dismissing this song. It is unbelievable. The way she sings, it just breaks my heart." And we actually did two versions of it. We made a candlelight version as well with just me and my pianist, but you'll possibly hear the full version today. I mean, you can Google any of these and you'll be able to find Tina singing so many covers, not only when she was with Ike and the Tina Review, because obviously Proud Mary, and there's so many different covers. She did Respect and I've Been Loving You Too Long, and all those different ones from covers in that band, but also as a solo artist. Her first release as a solo artist when she started was Let's Stay Together, Al Green, and then you've got Disco Inferno, Addicted to Love. The list just goes on and on and on. So she's not frightened of covering a song or two. But now and again, you come across a couple and you go, wow. Yeah. And that is just Tina. That was made for her rather than the original. A little bit like Proud Mary. It's one of those things that you remember Tina's version more than you remember anyone else's.
Absolutely. And when people ask me to play it, which it does get picked quite often as a cover version, I have to rack my brains to think who it was that sang it originally in the first place, because she just owns that song and people expect to hear that. Now, let me just ask you, I guess we can move. We've talked about Anastasia. When did you then decide to change tack? At what point what happened? So you thought, oh my goodness, had you had enough of Anastasia, or was it the fact that Anastasia, because she was on Strictly Come Dancing, and then she seems to have disappeared, doesn't she, for a while? I think she's having some time out.
It was actually quite a bit before that. Actually, it was well before Strictly Come Dancing. I was about Anastasia for about 6 years. Wow. And it was back in 2010 that, 2009, 2010, I started noticing that people weren't asking me for the character anymore. Now, Anastasia herself had been through, if anybody has had something similar, they've had Crohn's disease. So she suffered with Crohn's disease most of her life. But then she got hit with a bout of breast cancer as well. So she was battling through that, and she came through the other side, and she was strong like us women do, and she carried on, but she didn't carry on in the studio, so she didn't release any more albums, so she wasn't prevalent on the radio anymore. She went with Shaka Khan and Lulu, and she did a theatre tour instead. So because of that, it's a knock-on effect for anyone recreating her show. So nobody was asking me for the character anymore. She was getting less and less popular. And I thought, I can't go back to the cabaret clubs. I really want to carry on doing what I'm doing. Not only had it obviously increased my prices, because the cost it costs to actually become somebody else with a £900 Russian wig. And, and obviously the transport, because they want you to do it all over the country, whereas I had only stayed local as a cabaret act. So obviously the money had improved for me. But not only that, the actual venues had improved. I was doing big sportsmen's dinners, and I was flying away to a Greek hotel to do a gig for the Mayor of Cyprus, and I'd gone to the barracks to start doing it for some of the troops that were disappearing into Afghanistan. Wow. So I realised that I wanted to carry on this path rather than going back to the clubs. So when people said to me, well, you just sound like Tina Turner when you sing as Anastasia, I thought, oh yeah, but how am I going to look like her? Because Tina, to me, was really, really slim, extremely fit, and spiky hair. That was the 80s one that I knew. So I started researching it and looking at some of her older looks, and I thought, right, the 60s isn't going to work for me either. But then I saw what she looked like in between 60 and 70, her last couple of tours, and I thought, that's it, that's the look. So I started hand making my own wig, and we got all these costumes, we got the band back together, we got a load of dancers, and we started trying to create in 2010 something that was worthy of the legend that she is. Because if you are a Tina fan, nobody else can be Tina other than Tina. I'm taller than her. I've got a broader back. I've got a back like a builder, actually. I've got a bigger bust, you know, so I'm going to look different than her. But if I get the right costumes, now the one thing that people do say is that my legs are okay. So the legs, luckily, I knew that was one feature that was more about showing that off. And I hand-made my own wig, the nice curly one instead of the spiky one. Wow. And we started copying a few of their outfits, but then also finding something that just fitted my body shape and made me look better or more Tina-esque. Because if you're a fan, you want to come along. If somebody says that they are Tina, you know, if they are a recreation of a Tina concert and you've been to a Tina concert, by God, you're going to expect something.
Absolutely.
And I thought, I can't just do this on my own in a pub. It's got to be done properly. So we set ourselves this giant project of trying to recreate something to give people the feeling that they were back in a Tina concert. And I'd still keep an awful lot of me in what we can call the impersonation. I let them know it's me. I let them know that where I'm from. Not until the end. But there's lots of little things in the show where during the soul medley we go lower and lower and lower until we're all on the floor. And I'm literally on my back on the floor and the girls are on the front looking at the audience. And then I pretend that I can't get up because my knees are gone. In reality, my knees actually have gone and I can't get up. So all the girls help me get up. Now, Tina wouldn't have done anything like that. No. But I'm trying to let the audience know that it's a respectful homage to a legend. And we're going to give you as much as we possibly can, 120% of us recreating her show. But at the same time, don't forget that there is somebody behind this and I'm not actually her. Yeah. There's going to be parts of me that falter that aren't as good. There's going to be parts of the voice that maybe break one night. There's going to be parts of the costume that don't look exactly like her. So there's going to be bits along it that you've got to remember that there is someone underneath it at the end of the day trying to do this.
But you know, I've looked at the footage and I've looked at lots of photographs of you this morning, and I'm just amazed. Your legs are phenomenal for a kick-off, because Tina Turner has got the most fantastic pair of legs, and your legs are amazing. Now, some messages have come in, and a message from one of our great listeners, Simon. He said, "Good afternoon, Kim. I hope you are well. I'm halfway to a walk that's 9 miles so far. Anyway, your guest, Justine, is absolutely fantastic." He said, "I actually thought River Deep was Tina Turner. I saw stars in your eyes when she did Tina and when she did Anastasia. Fantastic." He said, "And I'm a big Freddie Mercury fan, and the Freddie Mercury one, the man who did Freddie Mercury, was fantastic as well." So that's from Simon. And
amazing.
And Sabine said, "Hi Kim, can you ask, have you ever met Tina Turner?"
I haven't. Unfortunately, we've been very, very close to her house and we were loitering around. Her security was going to move us. We did a gig in Switzerland. The whole band went over and we did a gig literally halfway up a mountain. It was during the skiing season, so you just got to picture the scene now. It was in Davos, which is about an hour away from Zurich, where she lives. And we actually landed in Zurich. So one night we went up to Zurich and he said, "See that house over there on the other side of the lake? That's Tina Turner's house." And I said, "Should we all go and knock and run?" Should we go and say? The problem is, I think Tina's obviously, first of all, she's retired, and rightly so. She's worked so hardest working woman in show business. So she doesn't want some woman from Liverpool knocking on her door.
No.
And secondly, there's lots of impersonators that impersonate her all around the globe. So she's probably not going to be interested in me at all. But also she opened up about 6 years after we started. The musical arrived in London. So I mean, I can't say that I'm not jealous that Adrian Warren got to meet her. Wow. But in another way, I'm a little bit frightened, because if she meets me and she says, "What are you doing lying all over the floor?" I never did that. She'll say, "You're 5'7", I'm not that tall."
Oh my goodness.
So there's a bit of fear. So unfortunately, no, we've never ever met. And whether she's aware of the show, I'm not too sure, because we are the longest running show as Tina Turner. So I mean, I hope she might have, somebody might have said, "Have you seen this girl who's pretending to be you?" And she might go, Oh yeah, she's not bad, is she?
Which would be
Hopefully
amazing.
that.
Now, Sabine also said, did you go to see Tina the musical when it opened 2 years ago? And Sabine also remembers you in Stars in Their Eyes with the David Cassidy guy. So there you go.
That was the one, yeah. David Cassidy, he was in the final. Oh, his velvet suit was hilarious. We did not give him loads of jip about that. No, well, what I got tickets to go and see Anastasia. She gave me the record company gave me to go and see her for free, and I actually met Anastasia, so that was actually quite cool. And she's only a little thing, but when the musical came out, I really, really wanted to go and see it, and a lot of our Totally Tina fans have been to see it, and they've told me all about it, and it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. It's totally different to us because they are the story that goes over all of her life, the whole life story, and all the domestic violence and all the abuse, and there's about 20 minutes worth of concert style at the end of it, whereas we are the concert. We're just the concert from the beginning to the end, so we don't act. We've got none of the skills that they've got when it comes to acting. And obviously the problem we had was doing 60 to 80 theatre gigs of our own per year. We never had the time to actually go down to London to go and watch this show.
No, but also, when you've got a night off, to be really fair, you want to have your slippers on, sipping a pink gin and the truffle, let alone...
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, she's so hard, honestly. It's so hard being here. I can't tell you how much cross-training I have to do. And it's only this year that I've started doing any sort of gym work whatsoever. I just used to say, oh, no, I'm fine, I can do it. But I've noticed as I'm getting older, I've got to try and keep fit now. But I also do approximately about 15 cruises a year with various cruise lines. And that involves a lot of flying and a lot of staying away. And then we do about nearly 120 gigs in the UK, whether it be theatres or whether it be smaller social clubs with just 2 dancers. So when you put that all into one diary, it's about 108. Well, I think Tina did 182 gigs in 1 year once, and I've got about 172 gigs. That's the maximum I've done up to now. And as you say, sometimes you meet yourself coming back as you walk through the door. I throw my bags in, I put the wig back into another bag, and then we walk back out again and drive 5 hours down the road. Unfortunately, we're a touring show, so we don't get the luxury of being in one theatre and turning up at 6 o'clock that night to do our show, and then leaving at 10 and going home. We've driven 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, or flown to a gig to get there, and then we have to do it all the way backwards as well. So it's quite hard for us. So to take a night off and then go down to London and pay all that money out and go and see this show, I just thought, it's just something I can't do. Now I've had all this time off.
You could have done.
They're not open. They're not open now.
Now listen, we're going to play, because we spoke about it, we've not played it. Here we have Missing You.
Every time I think of you, I always catch my breath. I'm still standing Every time I think of you, I always catch my breath.
Oh my goodness, honestly, when you listen to these songs, and do you listen to yourself often, Justine?
Not really. I think I'm like most singers. I don't like to hear myself back. I don't mind myself live, but I don't like to hear myself recorded. I feel like my voice changes once it's been recorded. It feels like it's thinner. It doesn't sound as meaty as it does on stage.
Well, seriously, we're getting so much positive feedback. Now, what I want to say, so you have spoke a few times about a band, so you had to create a band. Where did you get your band from and your crew? How did that all start?
Right, well, back in 2010, and when I realised, okay, let's drop all the other characters and let's concentrate on Tina, and I started watching footage, and I realised that her concerts are so big, and I thought, right, we're going to need a big team to do this. God knows where we're going to get the money from, but we're going to give it a go. So I had a word with a friend of mine who used to roadie for another friend years ago, and I knew he was a keyboard player. And I said, do you know anybody who's in a band or used to be in a band who fancies doing a project with me? And his dad used to be with a very, very famous group called the Undertakers. And he said, yes, I can have a word with my old dad's band, the Undertakers. So that's when we first met Andy on sax. Well, we actually didn't meet Andy till a lot later. But it was Jimmy on guitar, Jeff on bass, and they've all got their own. So it's Jimmy Red Shoes on guitar. We've got Jeff R.E., which is a bit like Will I Am, but without the leather and the money. Then we've got Corin on drums, Corin with an R, not with an L. So Corin, not Colin. And we had Simon, who is on keyboards. So they all came together and they said, right, okay. And we all started listening to different versions. So Jeff comes back and he says, I like this version of Private Dancer. And then Simon says, yeah, but listen to this. And we spent the next 3 years arguing and trying to create a show together. So we went up every Wednesday at a little club in Everton Brow called the Provincial Club, and they used to give us it for £25 on a Wednesday night when they held bingo in the other room, and we'd thrash out all these songs live and trying to create a show. And very quickly I realised we can't just be stood here on the stage on our own. Look at what she has. Yeah. She used to have 3 dancers, and she also has in her later years 4 dancers. So we put a notice out on Star now, and we tried to get some dancers. And over the years, we've had 48 different dancers. I promise you, we're not flying through them. We're not breaking them, right? But they get older and they want to leave, and they have families and they go off on different contracts. So over the years, we've got 48 dancers, but we've always had the same 4 musicians. And a couple of years ago, we met up with an amazing guy who's worked with Kylie Minogue and all sorts of Supertramp and so many famous people. And his name's Andy Parker Jr. So he's the Right Reverend Andy Parker. And he is our saxophonist, and he's been with us for about 3 years now. So 5 musicians. 4 of them have been the original right since day one. 48 dancers, and at the moment we've got 15 dancers on our books, and they all swap it between them. Right. So you might see a different 4 girls every single night.
Yeah, and that's good, I guess, for them. And it means, because I always say, when I was matron of a nursing home, you're better with lots of part-time staff than 2 full-time staff, because you've got lots of flexibility. So you've always got people. Yeah. Now, I was just saying to you, you travel far and wide, but locally to us, there's quite a bit happening. We might be seeing Totally Tin. Can we first of all talk about this amazing thing that's happening on the 6th of June at the Trafford Centre?
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be the 25th of April, obviously because of lockdown restrictions, they've had to move it forward. And they're starting in the end of April with lots of different shows every single night. But we are the finale. We are the final act that's going to be on the 6th of June. And what it comprises of, it's quite strange. When they first rang me up and told me about it, I thought, ooh, this sounds very unusual, because over lockdown we've done one gig where everyone was in little sheep pens. So they had little barriers around every place, and you could only have 6 people in the sheep pen. So that was one festival that we did. And then another one, we did the Princess Theatre in Hunstanton, and everyone was wearing masks. So you'd have 2 people with masks, and then next to them was 4 empty spaces and an empty row behind them. That was very strange. You couldn't tell if people were smiling or growling at you. But we've tried it, and I also did 10 lockdown videos. You can go on to Totally Tina on YouTube and you'll find the lockdown, or I can send you links, and you'll see 10 videos, and they're all in my living room, just me, dressed up. I do full costume changes, and even one night I was Anastasia again, and we did one lockdown with Jimmy, our guitarist, and we did one lockdown with Andy, our saxophonist, and we also did another lockdown with the full band in a club, an empty club, and then also the very last one was in my dancer's garden with 4 dancers.
Wow.
So we've done lots of lockdowns, and you can watch, all of your listeners can watch them completely for free. They're just sat up on YouTube, and you can have a little look at how I look, or you can go to the website totallytina.co.uk. But this Drive and Live thing is absolutely crazy. So what they've told me is, if you've got to try and picture this in your mind now. So imagine you're driving into a ginormous car park, a massive, massive car park. And in the centre of the car park, you've got a stage. And that stage can be viewed 360 degrees from any different angle.
Wow.
So you think of it as a clock face. So you've got the clock in the middle, which is the stage, and then you've got all the numbers coming off. So imagine people drive their car into a line and they point. So one person's car is right at the front of the stage, and then all the other cars are behind in a line, and then spread that line out around the whole of the circle.
Wow.
Now you've got to put a 70,000 square feet tent over the whole lot of it. so that you're covered. And then everybody is allowed to get out of their car to the right-hand side, out of the driver's door. So you have the passenger climbing over the gears, sticking everything to get out. And you sit next to your car, and on your right-hand side will be somebody else's car, on your left-hand side will be your car.
Wow.
And you sit in your chair and you can watch the performance. And they've got a load of toilets with a traffic light system. So people from different rows can go at different times with masks. And they also have a full catering system. I'm not too sure how the catering works. Do you order it on a phone or do you wave your arms? But I know that they bring the stuff to you and put it on your bonnet so that there's no contact, basically. It's contactless gin and tonics, darling. So it all sounds absolutely crazy, and it's something we'll probably never ever do again and has never been done before. But it's a 100% COVID venue, so even if we were locked down, if the restrictions were reduced, you were still allowed to go and do this.
I think that, how you've explained it, I mean, the funny thing, that the funniest thing is going to be everybody having to get out of the right-hand side doors. People climbing
Can you imagine it? Come on, Grandma, hurry up with it. Can you imagine it?
But that just sounds fantastic. So that is Sunday the 6th of June. And again, you can get tickets easily from totallytina.com, is that right?
totallytina.co.uk.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We'll, make sure you've got all the links and everything afterwards. But you'll see it on there. There's a little buy tickets link. So, and it's the first one we're going to be doing. Since, if you don't count lockdown ones, it's going to be the first one since we worked last March.
Oh my goodness. And how are you keeping your voice? Are you having to do lots of vocal exercises and stuff?
Oh, to be honest with you, no, I'm useless. I think if you were, I was going to say Catherine Zeta-Jones, and that's not her name. What's her name? Catherine, I can't remember her name, the opera singer.
Oh yeah, Jenkins.
If you were Catherine Jenkins, I think every day you would have to have vocal exercises. But when you are a pop singer or a club singer like I am, you just get up in the morning, you start going, have a good cough, have a cup of tea, and then you just roll into it.
You're just amazing. I just know, just because of your personality as well, that your show, as serious as it will be fun-packed and absolutely just action-packed as well. That's how you appeal to me.
It really is a lot of fun. We really do, as I say, tongue in cheek for some little bits. When I revert to me and I start being a bit stupid, people know straight away, like, oh, obviously, yeah, Tina wouldn't have done that, but that's really cool. And what we like, I think for us, because being an artist, you always want recognition in your own right. And obviously, once you become a recreation or a tribute to somebody, then you sort of like wipe that off the planet.
Yeah, totally.
But Well, what we've done every single year, we reinvent ourselves. First of all, we change our costumes and we get some beautiful handmade custom ones from an amazing shop down in Birmingham called Sequin Showstoppers, and that's where a lot of our costumes come from. And so I'm always looking for something different. And then I'm also looking at old Tina footage. I'm thinking, well, how would she have done that? If she was about to do a tour now, she'd do it completely different. Yeah. So let's pretend that we're Tina. So for GoldenEye, we got this gold-encrusted bodysuit, and the girl's got her little gun, and she'll do a whole Bond routine first, and then we have two other girls come out, and they have enormous Egyptian gold wings and these beautiful masks on, and they dance to GoldenEye. Now, Tina's never done that, but we decided years ago it was going to be part of us. The same thing happens with the likes of Missing You. We have one of our dancers come on and she does a contemporary dance to it, very painful and upset. And we just like to be able to create something different. We've just literally put into the set this year, because we found an amazing version of her singing ZZ Top Legs. So we've just found 2,800 clips of Tina Turner's legs over the years, and I've made a fabulous video to go with it.
Do you know, honestly, just amazing. Now we're going to our last track, which is the blue track, and it's Help. Now, being a Liverpool girl, the Beatles, you must have been such a fan, or were you a fan? I mean, I can't imagine anyone from Liverpool not being a fan.
I think it was one of the first albums that I ever got, and I was just absolutely blown away by them. I mean, you dance around to your normal 80s tunes, but you always come back to the proper lyrics and the proper melodies.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, it just personifies Liverpool, the music scene, and the Beatles. They put us on the map. And for me, to find out that Tina had done, she'd done two Beatles songs. She also did Get Back. She did a great version of Get Back by the Beatles.
Yeah, she did.
So,
I remember. Yeah.
So we decided, I had a little listen to it, and the version that she did was just so heartbreakingly spine-tingling. It was just so amazing. And it wasn't until after a little bit more research I realised that, do you remember the guy called John Farnham?
Yeah,
he sang, You're the voice, try and understand it, that's it. He did this version, it's his arrangement, and Tina must have asked permission to use his arrangement. So really, it's his arrangement, but the power that the woman sings this song with. And I think, for me, it's the closest, I guess, to how I would have naturally have sang this song anyway. Even if if Tina Turner hadn't have come onto the scene, I would have sang Help. If this arrangement, I would have sang it like this anyway. So it's not too much of an effort for me to sing it.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's just play it. Help. Here we go.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I change my mind and open up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me. In so many ways, my independence seems to done before. Oh, help me. You can help me now. And I do appreciate all you've been around. Oh, help me get my feet back on the ground. Ooh, won't you please, please, help me. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. Ooh, but now those days are gone. I'm not so self-assured. I know that I just need you like I've never done before. Come on now, help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate all you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. I want you please, please help me. I want you please help me. I want you please.
Oh my goodness, how fantastic there. So I'm just going to bring Justine back on just so you know where to find her and where to get all this amazing information. Now, Justine has flicked through a diary as quickly as we could, and she's going to be coming to Northwich Memorial Court, Totally Tina, at some point very soon. So we're hoping this year, aren't we?
Yes, we do have it in the diary. I'm just retyping it back in really, really quickly. So we've got July 21. We're at Northwich Memorial Court. We also have the Brindley coming up. It's not until February 2022. We should have done it literally this February, just gone. We also do Victoria Halls in Stoke-on-Trent as well. So you have to have a little peek out for that one. That one's, I can't see the rescheduled date for that. But if you go to totallytina.co.uk and you go on to our the diary, there's 3 different diaries there. You'll be able to see exactly where we're going. And the 6th of June, we have the Manchester Drive Inside. So that's accessible either via our website, or you can go directly to zip-tickets.com. And if you type in Totally Tina, you will find us. So you can also find us on Facebook, Totally Tina Tribute. Twitter, if anyone tweets, Totally Tina 1, and Totally Tina Official Instagram. Just look out for the picture with me showing off all my legs and loads of dancers around me.
No, but
and you'll find us on all of them.
Brilliant. And I honestly, I'm really excited because I just know from the positive feedback that we're going to have a Totally Tina night, aren't we, gang? The Good Afternoon crew will be having a Totally Tina night. Now, have you got any hellos before you go?
Oh, I don't think any of my guys are going to be listening up there because we forgot to put the post on first to say that we're
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So I'd just like to give a big thank you to all my wonderful cast who every 5 seconds I'm bugging them like mad trying to rehearse. And thank you to my mother, thank you to my producer, thank you to my husband, who I haven't got one anymore, I divorced him. No, just thank you to all the wonderful listeners for listening in, and I hope you've enjoyed the interview. And thank you so much for you letting me come on your amazing show to let everyone know about us.
Do you know, it's been fantastic. And we've got to thank Maria for linking us up, haven't we?
Oh my goodness me, of course. Maria from MP Promotions.
Yeah.
She's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for linking us up. I'm just going to put Justine just to one side while I go to an ad break. And you know what happens after the ad break? It's all our yesterdays. It's all about the 1970s.
Radio Northwich, playing decades of great music, 24 hours a day.
Diving in